Salute Paisans. Happy Halloween. You can see I'm all donned up. The Don's donned up. We got plenty of candy. Farewell. Let's talk football real quick. We got trick-or-treaters coming, but you know, I love this holiday, right? I was completely wrong about Florida, Georgia. Georgia doesn't eat Bach Bowers, apparently. They're probably going to win the national championship. There's other couple of contenders. I thought Oklahoma was a contender, but I don't know. They look pretty weak against the game of the week, Kansas, Oklahoma. It's funny. I picked Oklahoma. You guys know that. And me and my dad were talking. Me and my brother were talking. My boy Big E, he's a big Kansas guy. He was at the gym, you know, getting swole. I don't get swole on Saturdays. My gut does, you know. You gotta be pounding them foods while you're watching college football. But anyway, Kansas wins in a shocker. It was incredible. And right when the game kicked off, I go, I think Kansas is going to win, even though I'd already locked in on Oklahoma. And that was just a great send-off, a great middle finger from the Hateful Eight to out, O-U and T. But we got, it was incredible, you know. It was, that's what college football is all about. I say it every week. What's the definition of college football being all about? Watch it sometime and you'll learn. And I know most of you don't watch it. I actually know most of you are going to watch this like 5 days from now after most of this news is old news. Speaking of old news, every 5 minutes the Michigan saga keeps on getting renewed. So the stuff you learned yesterday, that's old news. It seems legit. I think the playoff committee is going to punish Michigan if no one else will. Because tonight the college football playoff rankings come out. Ohio State's probably going to be number one. That makes the most sense. But yeah, I think it's going to be. I think the college football playoff committee is gonna come down on Michigan. But let's talk about some more games. Indiana, Penn State. Penn State looked terrible, as they usually do after they lose to Ohio State and when they lose to Ohio State. Apparently, currently, the game line for Michigan Penn State is 2.5 points. Michigan's going to win by 30. So all you degenerates out there, go lay some money on Michigan. It'll do you some good. I don't want to stay too long. Actually, who else we got? Florida State, Wake Forest. That was the most incredible performance I've seen Florida State all year. There was literally zero downside to their entire team. It was the most complete performance by them all year. One of the most complete performances by a team we've seen all year. So Florida State, they're back in. I think they're back in the mix for the playoff. I've been doubting them a lot, even though I know they got talent. So, but I think I think Florida State's legit. I don't know if they'll win it all, but they are legit. Speaking of the ACC, North Carolina loses again in embarrassing fashion to Georgia Tech. What did I say earlier this week? I think I said it to you guys. I don't know. I talk a lot. I talk ball a lot. Mac Brown is 90% of the coach, not 100. If Nick Saban were in that situation with thrown into the fourth quarter the way it was, like with that with that entire roster with North Carolina, Nick Saban would have won. Mac Brown, he's outlived his usefulness. I'm sorry to say, he's a great recruiter. Put him as an offensive coordinator. I don't know. I don't know. As an AD, I don't know. It's just if you want to be elite in this sport, and now that they're expanding the playoff, everyone wants to be elite. I think you got to move on Mac Brown. Mac Brown. Then again, it's North Carolina. North Carolina I don't know if they've ever even sniffed a national championship. So if 10-2 season's what you want, then go for it. But remember last year, they looked like fire, and then they lost 5 straight games to close out the season, including the Holiday Bowl against Oregon. So I think Mac Brown is done. I have other coaches I think are done as well. We'll get to that because, again, we got trick-or-treaters and everything. But let me just talk about some other stuff. I'm sorry I'm on my phone. Sorry, but duty calls. Oregon, Utah. Oregon looked incredible as well because I told you they were going to come in and put everything they had at Utah because they already lost. They need to look good every single game, and they did. So Oregon, I think we're going to see Oregon, Washington again in the Pac-12 championship. I will say, speaking of Washington, apparently there's a lot of sickness going on, a lot of flu, so that's why they look pretty shitty. But I think they're going to come back and rise. But let me see any other games. Tennessee, Kentucky, I was completely wrong. Tennessee looked pretty damn good. They handled Kentucky. Notre Dame throttled Pittsburgh. I expected that. Let me just wrap this up. Washington, Stanford. Actually, we were talking about Washington. They didn't look very good. It was because this whole flu thing. I really do think. And the thing is, I said this about a couple of teams. When you look back at this season, 50,000 feet, if they go all the way, you're going to look at that game and be like, okay, whatever. I'm sure LSU 2019 had it. I'm sure other teams had it, like Ohio State 2014. I'm sure they had one of those games. Well, they had losses, so let's not think of that. Clemson in 2018, they probably had a game where it's like, okay, it was close, but I think that's how Washington is right now. Final thoughts in the Pac-12, USC Cal. Lincoln Riley's got a problem. It's as simple as that. He's got a fucking problem, and that's all. It's defense, because his entire offseason was recruiting defensive players, and then he just doesn't coach them to do anything. I don't know, what is that, Grinch? That guy, how the Grinch stole Christmas. How the Grinch stole the Trojans from going to the fucking playoff. That's what it should be called. But they beat Cal, the Golden Bears, 50-49, and they got AP votes. They were 24 in that game. They won by 1 point, and they remained at 24. That's the AP voters not watching games. The AP is frauds. That's why I go on the Massey rankings, which we'll talk about later in the week. But anyway, trick or treat, happy Halloween. I don't know if we got anything good, but see you later this week. Scram, get out of here. Trick or treat, happy Halloween. Scram.